Hello Fairydust crafters and welcome to the Fairydust Crafts podcast. My name is Gina and I come to you from my craft room here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on the socials. I am on Ravelry, obviously, I'm a fiber crafter, as well as on Instagram and Threads, although I never really use it, as Fairydust Knits, because I am first and foremost a knitter. This is, although it is a crafting podcast, I mostly knit. I dabble in crochet a little bit as well as sewing. I make project bags and little like knitty and crochet-y accessories. That's about it. Every once in a while I pull out a different craft. I used to be a quilter, but I haven't really done that in a long time. So for all of you guys who are new here, welcome, and you just got all the spiel about who I am and where I'm at. And to all of my regular viewers, welcome back. I see there's a whole bunch of new people over here watching the podcast. Thank you so much. I did Vlogmas last month in December, and that was so much fun. So it's just kind of like some daily stuff that I shared with you guys, and it was mostly just opening my advent calendars and showing you what I do with all of that stuff. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with like the whole vlogging. It was my first ever Vlogmas and the first ever kind of like video log experience, and because I have enjoyed it so much, I think I will do that every once in a while and just do like a little surprise day in the life or something like that. I've gotten really great feedback, and I've gotten some tips and tricks to work on, so you'll see some more of that in the future, hopefully. So it is WIP Wednesday. For all of you who are newer to the fiber crafts, WIPs are works in progress. And the main reason why I am actually here talking to you guys is because last year I got a little overwhelmed with what I called WIP Mountain. My cat Molly is visiting us here. So WIP Mountain, or like the WIP graveyard, was just getting out of hand, and I needed somebody, you guys, to help me out a little bit. I noticed that I need accountability, and what are you doing? Okay. I needed accountability to just finish all my things and not cast on a billion projects. Now, cast on itis, as lots of people like to call it, is a real thing where you just keep casting on new project, be it crochet or knitting, doesn't matter, but you just like, you get influenced by all of these new projects that like come out and are all over the place. Obviously Instagram doesn't help because there's so many people putting out new projects pretty much on a daily. You gotta like pace yourself. So that happens every once in a while when you just get a little overwhelmed. All of last year I didn't really keep track of what I was doing, or I want to say not all of last year, but all the way until early August, when I recorded my first episode here, when I was like, okay, something needs to change. So I didn't really record any of my finished objects. I didn't really keep track of anything at all. I just kind of like dove right into it, and I am definitely a planner. You saw that in my last video, my New Year's video. I need that. So what I used to do is I would have a notebook. I put all of my notes in it, like every single little detail that I could think of, so I can still go back into it. I'm like, oh, I really like that pair of socks that I made whenever, and I go into that notebook, and for the most part I have like the little ball bands in there, and I used to like literally tape little bits of yarn in there to like see what colors they were. So I want to get back into that. It's kind of almost like scrapbooking, but for all of your projects. So I have this knitting journal here. This is what it looks like. It's by Line. It's got a smudge on here. I was gifted this, and I thought about maybe doing something with it. Maybe I'll like bind it in fabric or something, but I digress. So it has project note pages basically. So every single project has a double page like this where you can write things in, and following that is just 2 pages, 2 blank pages. So you can even draw into it and really take proper notes. So I started using it again and really like write everything down. So if you've been following me, you know that I put everything, all the details that I can in my Ravelry Projects page. And if you have any questions at all about any of those projects, anything, go into the show notes down below. You can find those down below where it says more. And you'll find a link to my Ravelry Projects page. So if you ever feel like, oh, I really want to do that, I'm really interested in that yarn, find my project and all the details will be in there. I am not always very good at taking pictures, so every once in a while you will find like a little tile without a picture in it. I'm trying to be better at it, and as we are going through WIP Mountain today, I will take pictures of every single project that I have and put it on my Ravelry if it's not there yet. So as I just said, I started this podcast in August. August 10th is when my first ever episode aired. And what I did was I looked at all of my WIPs. I think it was like an hour-long podcast, almost, something around that. So this today is not going to be as long. I pulled out every single WIP that I had and looked at it. Some of them I frocked because I just, you know, it just wasn't for me anymore. So I dealt with some of those, but I'm just like looking over here on the floor where I have all of my projects are out here, and I'm getting like a little overwhelmed just looking at it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over everything item by item. I will put it into a spreadsheet on my iPad and see what to do with it. So yeah, I will record all of my progress, everything. I'll put everything on Ravelry because I know that a lot of it is not actually on there, and I've been pretty good at like adding everything to my new projects. So that will maybe make my Ravelry project page a little more manageable. I don't know. But then I'll just go from there. So I will just pick a project. I don't quite know how I want to handle it. How I want to handle like all the WIPs. I have one, my November cardigan that I have really been working on this week. That's like the one that will be finished first, but I have lots of like socks that I do want to finish, that need to be finished, that I don't quite know how to approach. So I will have to think about that. Maybe you guys have some inputs. Let me know down below in the comments if you have like any kind of input as to how I should manage these WIPs, because I can't work on everything all at once. So what would you do? So yeah, as I'm saying, I am getting like some mad anxiety just looking at all of this. So let's just dive right in and tackle this ginormous WIP mountain. So there's like actual layers to this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have like many layers of things, and I know that there's several projects in like the same bags. So let's just start somewhere here. Okay, so this is where I usually sit, and I'm just gonna pull out, I have This is kind of like my go-to bag that I use on like a daily whenever I go to work. It fits everything. I can even fit my lunch in there. So two things that I'm just gonna pick up that are like, the first is this dishcloth. Gonna pull this out because I need to use a larger needle. My two Sophie shawls or Sophie scarves. I just don't know why I'm like mixing those up. But those two I am working on during our knit along this month. So all of that is gonna go into my spreadsheet so I can update all of that. And those are my current work WIPs. Okay, 3 down, 500 more to go. She is saying frock to sock. Okay, so this is it. This is the big one. I have it on the straight needles. So this is it. This is the back of a cardigan, and feels so satisfying. I love frogging anything. So it just goes back into the bag, and then it will be ready for me whenever I'm ready to cast on. So I will need the cable needle and all of that. It's done. Okay, so I have a list here. I have a total of 39 works in progress. Of those, I have frogged 4, one of which I'm still thinking about. I'm like so close to being done. At the same time, I feel like I'm not quite sure. I feel like I should just rip it out and turn the yarn into something different. I'm not even sure if I have enough yarn, so what to think about. I have, of my 39, 4 frogged. I have 13 sock WIPs. I have 5 currents that I'm actually like actively working on, and I have 4 work WIPs. So those like currently working on could also be 9, because I got like, what was it, 5 current plus 4 work, so 9 projects that I'm actually like very actively working on. I know that I will be able to finish probably 2, at least 2 this week, if not 3. And then I have actual long-term WIPs. If I haven't like counted this wrong or anything, there are 14 that are long-term WIPs. 39. It is a lot. This is just knitting and one crochet. So it's really 38 knit and 1 crochet project. I also have like quilts and like things that I need to finish sewing, but I'm not going to include those. Now that I've actually looked at it and organized everything and I have it in my list, I feel much better. That was pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie. I am very overwhelmed. At the same time, I am happy that I finally like got to deal with all of it. I'm very happy that I'm very happy about pulling out all of those like tiny little bits and pieces. Like that was quite a bit of work. Not gonna lie, like that was a little stressful, and it took much longer than I thought it was gonna take. I was like, oh yeah, half an hour and I'm done and I can sit down and knit, but yeah, that took much longer. But I feel good. I actually feel really good. I still don't quite know what to do with all of these like random bags of projects. I'm very happy that every single project has like a home now in its own either bag or basket or whatever, but every single one has a home, so I can really just grab that one basket and deal with it. I'm gonna finish my tea now and work on my cardigan for a little bit, just so I can make a little more progress. Finished at one sleeve, I think, tonight, and then get back to my blanket because I'm really digging those colors right now, and it's like, for some reason, it's just like calming me down. Like my 30 minutes of knitting every day that I've been doing, and if you're interested in that too, my 30 minutes of knitting is a little project that I picked up last year. I'm so surprised how much I can get done in 30 minutes. So if you're interested in that, hop on over to my Instagram. There is a story highlight called 30 minutes, and I will be adding 30 minutes every day. You will be able, like with time, you'll be able to really like see the progress of that blanket. Every once in a while, I'll throw in something different if I need a palette cleanser. But for the most part, it's just my one blanket that I'm knitting on, and then once I'm done with that, according to my calculations, sometime in mid to late February, I should be done with that blanket if I keep going with this at this rate. So you can see all of that over on my Instagram, all of my progress. I am Fairydust Knits on Instagram, so you will find all my progress on there. But yeah, I feel much better now. Like it's taken me a couple days to like actually like work myself up to this, but I feel so much better. And then hopefully I can tackle this gigantic, not so large anymore, WIP mountain this year, and then start eliminating my stash. That's a plan, hey? I hope you guys are going to be around for that. Again, let me know if you have any input into how I should tackle my like UFOs, how I should like pull them out, or like if you have any input into that, I would very, very much appreciate it. Any tips and tricks. Happy crafting, you guys, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.